Lurch, I see some paraphernalia sitting in front of you.
Yeah, that's a term I wouldn't normally use for this type of stuff, but yeah. It's accurate. It's true. It is paraphernalia.
It is paraphernalia. It would be cool if we were doing this live. We've just been very busy because we could have shown this stuff, but we've got some gifts that were sent to us. Now we've got several different ones here, and looks like you're pulling up a actual. Can I take a look at that? Wow.
That's old school handwritten note.
Handwritten with a blue pen, not in cursive. That would have made it even more old school, but literally handwritten in a pen note that you're going to read. I take it. I don't even know who this is from. I'm learning this as, which one are you going to pick?
I'm going to pick this one first.
Okay. I know who the other ones are from. You probably told me this, but go.
This one's from Tyler Barr, patron member Tyler Barr.
Tyler, let me see Tyler's writing. I like.
Over in Chehalis.
Because Tyler is a fun guy and funny and a good spirit. I'm glad his handwriting looks like mine. That of a middle schooler. I can tease Tyler because mine looks exactly the same. And I appreciate the handwritten note, Tyler, but this, my man, is exactly why I type shit. Sorry. He'll get me back. Back.
And he
I appreciate the note, Tyler. You're awesome, man.
He actually did type stuff back and forth. Him and I went back and forth in emails. He said he had some stuff he wanted to send us. So let me read his note here from Tyler.
Roger.
Matt and Ryan, I ordered some stuff from Black Rifle Coffee Company. They sent me 2 boxes with the same items, so he got double his order. I reached out to them, and they told me to give it gifted or donated to first responders. That made it an easy choice. The coolest group of officers I know. So there is 3 mugs. Well, there was 3. There's one at my house. 3 BRCC mugs and a couple of goodies. And the goodies are he's given us some Keurig cups, Black Rifle. One's caffeine, or it's called CAF. And the other one is the SS, something like, I think it's like a silencer or something like that. It's all gun related, right?
Oh, yeah.
He
the
says
company
SS
of marketing.
One's really good.
Yes, love them.
Thanks for everything you do. Hopefully we can get a ride in this summer. And you also tossed in a couple of acid cigars.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Tyler. Been a long time supporter, patron member, been to some meets. The guy, like I say, I can get away publicly teasing him because I just know his personality. So, but we appreciate the paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Very much, Tyler. And, it's just amazing, the community and people taking the time to, send us just tokens of appreciation and gifts. We appreciate it very much. No affiliation with Black Rifle Coffee Company, by the way, but we'll certainly take some of their swag here. So we'll use it around here. We'll try some of that.
Absolutely, we will.
CAF.
In fact,
does that mean, I don't know if I need the one that says CAF, dude. That might just fucking
SS
wire
one.
Me.
Yeah, I'll do a little research. The CAF, I think, is the high.
That's what I'm guessing. Just not
stuff.
Knowing shit about it.
So maybe next podcast, as we start out, I'll try the CAF and you can try the SS.
There you go. I may take that CAF on our upcoming trip. Dump it in my tank if I need some extra octane, dude. Oh, thank you very much, though, Tyler. And if you guys want to ever send us anything, we do have an official address now with our new store building facility in Union Gap, Washington. And the address there, if you ever want to send swag, the best place to send it is 3302 Main Street, Main Street, Union Gap, 2 words, Union Gap, Washington, 98903. Again, 3302 Main Street, Union Gap, Washington, 98903. That's our official store building and shipping facility, so it's easy to get packages there and ship stuff out. So we've always kind of went back and forth, and addresses are here, or we had a P.O. box, but now that is our official address for everything, and we'll be announcing that in upcoming podcasts. So let's see. Here's the deal. Let me get to the right one here, Lurch. What are we talking about first? Oh,
whichever one you would like.
We're doing this right here.
Yeah, let's do that one. That'd be a good one to warm up.
Things that piss me off.
Oh, you added one.
I did.
Good. I got one that pisses me off in an upcoming episode too.
I've told you. Do you good?
Yeah, that's funny.
I've told you about this before.
Yeah.
But it happened again this morning. So here I am.
Okay.
I go to church every Sunday morning if I'm not out of town with my elderly mother. And then we go to breakfast. It's our time. And now she's in her mid 70s. And the church we go to is young to middle aged, not a ton of elderly. It's a more modern, church. I don't mean that old church. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not like a traditional,
right.
It's
non-denominational, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Stone Church.
They focus on, attracting youth, right?
Yeah. There's, projectors and music and the modern
just a little more modern.
Tech. Yeah. Tech.
Absolutely.
But now what I'm going to talk about should have been outlawed probably minimum 10 years ago. Should have been outlawed.
Okay.
Done.
I'm looking forward to this.
Should have been chopped, Lurch. Should have been chopped. So now we give our tithes and offerings. Okay. Now,
would you rather Venmo or something?
No, just listen.
I'm curious where you're going with this.
Now, I give my tithes and offerings, and I have been for many, many years. Now, don't we all have a smartphone? I see even old people with smartphones.
Well,
elderly people. I'm getting old, so I have to be careful.
Yeah.
For the most part.
You are middle-aged now.
Do your parents have smartphones?
Mom does. Dad's still got a flip, but then he plays with her smartphone all the time. So
he knows how to use it.
He does, yeah.
Bullshit.
Got one between the two of them.
My mom does, and she's in her mid-70s. I hooked her up with one. Come on. I'd say there's very few people that don't. Maybe there are some holdouts. But with that said, it's so easy. All the churches now, dude, they have their own apps. You just give online. It's called Push Pay.
Yeah.
Some of them do whatever, dude.
They could just put a QR code up there at the altar and you can
that's what they do.
And send some money.
They do that out. A lot of churches have kiosks out front or whatever. I'm sitting next to my mother.
Uh-huh.
Now this happens. This isn't just this morning. And then to my left, I happen to sit by another lady that's about her age. And I've already done my tithes and offerings via the mobile app. Takes like 2 seconds. And it's fucking secure, right?
Sure.
And because you get a code, authentication code, two-factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look to my right. Look to my left. Pulling folded, written checks.
Yeah.
Each of them out of their purses, dude, as the bucket is being, don't justify it. Don't justify it. I'm not done.
At least they wrote them ahead of time. They were sitting there writing and holding up the bucket.
True. Because that's exactly what happens at the grocery store with people, the few people with checks.
God.
And I actually was sitting in church and I'm just laughing to myself going, you got to be kidding me. And I've told my mother about this. She uses Facebook and she's all over that phone. Dude, she Venmos the grandkids. What in the hell? I just, checks are not, and I know there's probably some of the community out there that still uses checks. Well, stop it. I don't care. Get rid of your checks. They're not, I just can't believe this day and age that paper checks, and I know I've bitched about this before. I can't believe banks and everything still accept, because it's so old and it's so non-secure and it's so easy to defraud, with everything we have, I just think they should be outlawed. There you go. So whenever I see a check coming out, I don't hate you, but you piss me off because I can't stand checks.
And remember in the old days, you'd get a box of checks, you know, I don't know how many were in that thing. There was probably a couple 100, 250 or something like that. Now, when you buy checks, it just comes in one. You just buy one little book, and it's like $35. There's one little book that you'll have the rest of your life.
Correct.
Because I've got a checkbook for my account, but I've written 2 checks out of it, and only because it was someplace that was going to charge me an extra 3%.
We did on the recent store building, right?
Yeah.
We had to put a whole thousands and thousands of dollars HVAC system in, and we found out.
Yeah.
So there are places, but you could also just direct wire people.
Or,
that's what I do it. And that doesn't cost anything through my bank. I just direct wire people. So we couldn't direct it. We could have probably, but it was easier just to write a check for that. So there's a few legacy instances where but not, and those could even be
you can get
gotten around.
My KLR, when I bought it, they were going to charge me 3%. And so I just went down and got 20s.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I just took a big old stack because the banks anymore these days don't even, because of COVID, they don't have tellers anymore. So you go inside and push the button and the little machine spits out all your money, and it spit out $8,000 in 20s.
That machine did, huh?
Yeah.
I thought there was a limit.
No, well, they come over. The assistant came over and okayed it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Just spit out $8,000 in 20s.
That's hilarious.
You guys can count it then.
Yeah, no shit. Anyways.
Yeah. We can bitch about that all day long.
Well, that's what the whole episode's going to be about. So another thing about check, no, I'm teasing. All right. So all of you that are using checks, it's just not secure. There's easier ways, but whatever, you do you. But yeah, so I thought that would be fun to talk about. Okay. So as bikers, and we're getting ready for a trip here coming up. We all know during these trips or when you're riding, unexpected things can happen. Now, I'll tell you, many of us, I hope all of you are prepared for a mechanical issue with our beloved Cruise Tools RTH3 Roadside Emergency Repair Kit and other kits from the Law Abiding Biker Store. We don't want to be stranded, over a simple mechanical repair and effing up your trip and then having to call a tow truck. But more serious than a motorcycle breakdown is an injury to you or someone you are riding with. Now, why would you risk not be prepared for that, bikeaholics? Why would you risk it? There's no reason to risk it. That's why we brought the Law Abiding Biker First Aid and Trauma Kit to our store at a very affordable price. So we've given you no reason not to be prepared with a small and easy storable biker prepared first aid kit. Yep. We really thought this biker first aid kit out before we brought it to the store to make sure it had the necessities. This is the key, without overdoing it, because we need to keep it small because it's on your motorcycle. Now, the kit comes with everything you need, such as a plethora of different size bandages, gauze, compression, dressing, medical tape, latex gloves, whistles, scissors, rescue blanket, and most importantly, a military tourniquet that can save a life. And all these items are inside a very tightly packed tactical nylon MOLLE bag measuring 8 by 4 by 4 inches. And best of all is that our design kit is biker approved because it has our name stamped right on the outside of the kit. This is not something you should have with you at all times, but a must-have at all times. Get the Law Abiding Biker First Aid and Trauma Kit right in the Law Abiding Biker store. And if you end up using it, please send us a story about it that we can share. How are we doing on stock on those things?
Back in stock on Tuesday. So by the time...
Are we out right now? But you can pre-order still?
I don't know if we got it switched over in the busyness of all the last month or so, but they will be here Tuesday.
Well, let's just look at our store.
At the time of this, by the time this comes out, it'll be back in stock. I ordered 200 of them.
Okay. Let's see. So we did have it so you guys could order them because we had more coming.
Yeah, we did on the last bunch. I was waiting for a idea of when they were going to be sent.
Sold out.
Yep. So when you're listening on it, audience, they're in stock. There's 200 of them I just ordered. So head on over there and get yourself one or two.
Sweet.
3 or 4. You should have one in every bike, one in every car.
Agree. And we'll have them rocking them on our trip coming up.
I got mail. Yeah.
Lurch, you want to share an email you threw in here?
Yeah, absolutely. This is from Michael Good. He says, I own a 2018 Road Glide Ultra, and I purchased a Boombox GTS infotainment radio to replace my Boom GT 6.5, and then brought the bike down to local dealer and had them install new tires and install TPMS sensors into the wheels, and asked them to flash the radio and gauges so I could see the tire pressure like on the 2022 bikes. So they did the work, installed the sensors and tires, and flashed the radio, but did not get the tire pressure on the gauges or the GTS. They said the sensors wouldn't work because my bike is not compatible, and they can't refund my money for the sensors after the install. So long story short, big argument. So I've read a few forums about my situation, thought maybe you could give me some insight into TPMS, how to retrofit, enable on-screen gauges, etc. First off, kind of shitty that they did the work, and you would think that the dealership should know ahead of time.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around. So sum this up. So he's 18 Road Glide Ultra
upgraded to a GTS,
which comes on the 19 and newer. So he did our retrofit. Okay.
Yeah. So now he wanted to add TPMS to that.
Right. And so you have to add the sensors because your bike doesn't come with it.
Right.
Okay.
And there's more to it, which I'll get into the answer down here. But
so he flashes it.
Yeah.
Did they installed the?
Yep. Yeah. The dealership installed
the sensors,
and flashed his GTS, and of course nothing worked. There's a little more involved.
Okay.
But
and then the last part is they won't.
That's what's crazy. Is they should know what is required to make it work, but instead they just installed the tire sensors, flashed it like he asked, and then when it didn't work, said, "Oh, tough shit." Right?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I would. I don't know how much that cost you, but yeah, I would probably argue that, or just secure an attorney on that, because I think they would be effed. Yeah.
So he donated, so much appreciated. And our response was, first off, thank you so much for the donation. It is much appreciated. Here is our understanding. In order to make the sensors display on the GTS, you'll need to upgrade your BCM, your body control module. The BCMs on the pre-2019 non-CVO bikes are not compatible with TPMS sensors.
Okay, I'm slowing this down for me.
Yep.
The body control modules on the pre-2109,
2019. Oh, yeah.
That's
my
2019.
2109.
The BCMs on the pre-2019 non-CVO bikes.
Right. The CVOs had it.
Are not compatible with the TPMF sensors. Okay.
Right. And so in order to get them to communicate through the boom, through the GTS, you'll need to have that upgraded BCM.
But he did.
He did not.
Oh, I thought he did.
No.
Okay. I got you. So he just had the sensors put on the new GTS. He did not do the BCM.
Yeah, he just
I'm tracking.
He was unaware. He just went down to his dealer and said, "I'd like to put TPMS on my new sensors and have my radio flash." Okay, we'll do that.
Can he buy the BCM and then it'll work?
Yeah.
So that's all he's got to do. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I reneged my statement a little bit. I thought they just were like, "There's no way we can ever get this to work," and we already installed the shit. So F off. But he just has to buy a BCM.
Yeah, and I don't know that they should have known that. Is what
I agree.
Saying. So I don't even know if the dealership knew that. And also that would, you'd need a GTS, upgrade to the GTS. You would need to upgrade your BCM, put the sensors in, then it'll communicate with it, and it'll be on the screen. But
wonder what a BCM costs.
I don't know. Why don't you look it up while I'm talking here?
That's all right. It'll take too long. By the time I find a BCM for the right model, yeah.
And then also, so then if you want to show up on the gauges on those older bikes, you'd have to upgrade to the CVO gauges. Yeah, it's quite a bit.
I don't think I would never do it.
No, and most people don't, because it's quite a bit of work.
Yeah, but and I get it. I'm not, obviously. Thanks. We just appreciate the emails, Michael. And Michael wanted it, and he gave it a shot. So hopefully that's a really good email, and we really appreciate that stuff like this, because Lurch did a little research on it, figured it out for you guys. A community member, Michael Good, shared it, and we're sharing it with all of you. So this is the great kind of networking we can do on this podcast with the community. And then I'm sure a lot of other people may or may not do this now because of the information. And a lot of people here can educate their dealership when they go in to do it and say, actually, this is what I need you to order because this is what you require. We expect dealerships, but Lurch, this is clearly not the first time that we found that many dealerships, we know more than them on a lot of this stuff, especially when it comes to this tech stuff and boombox, and the community honestly many times knows more than the dealership. So yeah, lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he dropped us a message. If you go over to that, lawabidingbiker.com/contact, you can also leave us a voicemail right from your computer anywhere in the world for free, or your smartphone. It's just a little recording thing, and we get the message and then we can play it here. But you can also leave it via our contact form at, again, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. And we really love this sort of content, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do, is help as many bikers as we can worldwide. And we can't do that without getting information, out there from the field, so to speak, from you guys out there doing things and learning things, and then be willing to share them with us. All right. This happened this morning. That's why I'm got a skip in my step.
Oh, good.
So I went to, like I said, to church with my mom. I had the nice all-American breakfast, 2 eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Over easy, bacon, crispy hash browns.
Are you talking about language?
Wheat toast.
Yeah. I might have went
Makes
with
me feel healthy.
English muffin.
Oh yeah, she does do the English muffin. My mom, extra crispy.
Oh.
She orders it extra crispy. Dude, you got to love your older parents, dude. They don't give a shit. They want it their way, and they'll get it their way. And then she goes, and then she was ordering her pancake. This is funny. So she's just getting the older, and I know you know this about your parents too. The older you get, you lose your filter.
Yeah.
Like you don't give a shit anymore.
Absolutely.
You've earned your place in this world, and or you're going senile and you don't really know you're being a dick. She really doesn't. And then she's asking the lady, she's like, okay, Mom, we go here every weekend and there's menu items for a reason. You order off the menu. Okay. She asks for, I just want the, so coffee. I just want the scrambled eggs and, it comes with 3 strips of bacon. I only want 2. I just can't eat 3. Well, how about you get the 3 and then you don't fucking eat it?
Yeah.
Okay?
Or I'll eat it.
Or I'll eat it or take it home.
Yeah.
They don't change the shit. It's actually probably going to be more expensive because you're customizing your shit.
Yeah.
I try to explain this to her. And then she's like, and that pancake, I had one before. They're just so big. Can you have the cook make it just a little bit smaller?
God.
She didn't know. This is a true story. And me and my siblings talk about it. The older she's getting, dude, the funnier it becomes. I could do a whole thing on this. And I'd look at her and I go, Mom, I'll help you eat the pancake. Because the girl's looking at her like, no, we're not going to make a smaller pancake for you, lady. They come in one size. Don't eat it. So anyways, my point being.
Yeah, what was your point?
On track. So you have the big breakfast, dude.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And about 15 minutes later, the old breakfast gurgles.
The coffee.
It's dude.
The bacon grease.
The grease, the hash browns.
They use, you go to a restaurant, obviously they use a lot of butter and stuff.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of lube in that food.
Yeah, it's not a low fat place.
Oh, there's a reason it tastes so good.
So I ran back here to the studio, dude. Mm-hmm. Did my business. Now.
Here in the studio?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that what you're about to talk about really works then, because I didn't even notice you'd gone.
No, I know, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Smells like mint in here, dude. It smells like mint. The reason is I followed it up with a dude wipe, wet wipe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Get hooked up with dude wipes, flushable wet wipes. Oh, I feel just as fresh as when I took a shower this morning. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air, just like Lurch said. Support us and head over to lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's fresh-butt, B-U-T-T. No additional cost to you, but we do get a small commission if you click through and make a purchase. And I will just reveal even more because I probably already revealed too much about my morning dump. I went with mint. It's still my favorite. It's pretty much all I buy is the mint ones. But try them both. There's a non-scented. Try them yourself. Get a couple sample packs. Couple of the to-go ones, which we're going to be taking on our trip.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the travel wipes. Mm-hmm. We're using the heck out of them. And we really appreciate you guys supporting us. And, Matt pulled one out of his computer bag. I've got them in my pickup. I've got them in the Harley. I've got them in my computer bag. Once you get the travel ones, you just can't. I went to snowboarding last weekend, and it was the first time that I've taken a dump in a long time. I forgot in my snowboard coat, I used the last one.
Oh, you forgot to refill.
I had to take a dump and just use regular toilet paper. Oh, I had no way to finish it off.
Miserable.
Dude, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Oh, that just
I felt dirty the rest of the day. You did.
Well, you were.
I was dirty.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, I was very dirty. All right, enough about that. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. And you better believe we're heading out in 4 days, probably ride about 4,000 miles, and I will have my butt buffer every mile of that trip. Also have this. Yep, that's right. My beloved Rick Rack Quick Detach Luggage System. Once you have Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless or the Rick Rack Quick Attach Luggage System and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. I will definitely Lurch too. We'll be rocking that. Are you taking that second one on the top of your trunk? Did you do that last year or not?
No, not me.
Okay.
I think Oscar's got
Oscar did. Yeah. Yep. All right. There you go, guys. Definitely. I would not leave home without it. Of course, I'll be leaving on the trip with a ton of the 03D, the wide variety of innovative products they have for Harley-Davidson on that are installed on my Street Glide. And of course, they've got the all-new line for the Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike, top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Sierra Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Oh, are we going to start a podcast?
Yeah, we should.
We've already been going a half hour. That's how we roll, guys. That's how we roll. It's all good information up front, we hope. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene. More than any time in history, by being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
Lurch has one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
There you go. Of course, Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
We're going to dive right in. Got some information here now. We're always coming out with new free videos. Been blowing it up on the YouTube channel. Get over there. Make sure if you haven't, I know a lot of you watch a lot of our stuff, but please hit the subscribe button. It costs nothing. It's easy to do. Every time that subscribe button and bell icon are hit over there, another biker joins the revolution, and we'd love to have you be part of it. New free video Lurch is going to announce here that we've got so many new videos we haven't announced, but he's going to announce this one.
Yeah, and for some reason, it looks like I copied the YouTube link and not the actual URL. Anyways,
I'll go to the store while you're doing that and find out.
It's our new store building video. Everything we do around here, we like to film it, especially the behind the scenes stuff to give you guys a better look at what's going on. And Ryan purchased a building early this year to move the store into. He gave the address earlier in Union Gap. And while it was a good building, had good bones, it needed a lot of TLC. So you get to see us doing some of that. One of the things we had to do was take the old sign down. And I'm not a fan of heights, so Ryan shimmied up I'm sure a totally safe ladder setup. We had to back his pickup up to the building and then put an extension ladder for get to the top. I'm sure it was OSHA approved. Anyways, while he's up there, he found all kinds of extra stuff. So the clip or the what do you call that, the screen when you first pull up the video, the shot is him hucking a DirecTV dish off the top of the roof. So just a fun little video. It is lawabidingbiker.com/new-law-abiding-biker-store.
What's the easiest way for him to find it?
Or just click it on the
head over to the
below.
show notes. Yep. There you go. lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is always how you get to the show notes and anything we talk about. Did we do is that podcast out yet? We did a full podcast on the new store. Mm-hmm. I can't find it.
Really?
New store, new law abiding. This is the video. But I don't. I'm searching.
It was titled something different. It was like the big lab expansion.
Oh yeah.
We didn't. I don't think store was actually in the title.
That's why. Mm-hmm. So if you want to hear that podcast episode, number one, the video will be in the links. Of course, it's over on the YouTube channel, and then lawabidingbiker.com/332 episode 332 on any of your podcast players. And we dive in deep, but the video will actually show you what we're dealing with and a lot of the stuff. And it's just a fun little vlog, and you'll get to learn about it and see what we're doing. And Lurch has been working hard on it. So, all right. With that said, now we love our sponsors up front. These folks are also a reason we're still coming to you strong after 10 years. These are the reason this episode's coming at you. We want to thank some of our newest patron members.
We got Donnie Iman of Mammoth Lakes, California, Dennis Tremblay of Cap au Renard, Quebec, Canada, Jolly Harris of Pace, Florida. He is top tier.
Michael Liu of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, John McCoy of Harlem, Georgia, Brett Fuson of Canberra, Australia. Thank you so much. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content, no risk to you because you can put a monthly cap on it. There are benefits such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone, nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. It is an amazing, amazing community in there. You get access to podcasts early like this. You'll get it literally months before everybody else. Live video broadcasts and chat when we do those. And for your top-tier access to those premium videos up on request. And, of course, access to those ride meetup at events, which this will come out after, but we're about to embark on our 10-day, 11-day Death Valley trip. And part of that will be our patron meetup in Reno, Nevada. So at some point down the road, you'll hear about that too. We'll talk about that trip and how the patron meetup went. So we're just got a BS session here. We've been busy I've been super busy. So this is going to be about police motor skills and drills, and we're going to get off track, and it's going to be courses, maybe some riding tips. I'm going to talk about a 2-week police motorcycle school. I'm literally, this is Sunday, and I just got done Friday. So I've basically had one day off, and it's a busy time. We may talk a little bit about NMOA, which is the North American Motor Officers Association. But yeah, we're just going to have a biker conversation here and see where it goes. And hopefully there'll be some interesting tidbits in here for you, and hopefully maybe some training points. But it'll get we've done some police motor stuff in the past, Oscar and I, but it's been a while, and this will be kind of a good follow-up. And I've got some stories in between, and hopefully it will be entertaining for you. So
just following up with the social media part of it, you put the videos out, and then I help, keep up with the social media stuff. These are some of these police skills videos that you put out are some of the most popular and get some of the most engagement. And we get a lot of questions about, how to ride better at slow speed. So I think the listening audience will really enjoy this one.
Yeah, I was looking under the table, see where
Louie's over here.
Louie, the studio dog, is.
He hasn't farted on me yet today, good. But we're doing like 3 podcasts today, so there's a good chance that
he missed you.
He'll yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Well, yeah,
he's chilling by you. He
that's
hasn't
why he
seen
came
you in
over
a
to
while.
see me, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll reach down and give him a little scratch.
Yeah. So it's been a busy season. So I basically gave a 2-week police motorcycle school to some officers between my agency and then the county agency here where we live. There was 2 of us instructing, and 2 of us instructing. So the way this year worked is it's been a blur, and me and Lurch literally are fitting this in on a Sunday. We're trying to record 3 podcasts because we're behind. This is my schedule. Okay, so let me take it back. So prior to the motor school, we have a course set up, and we've used it for years. Well, it's at the Fire Training Academy, and they have a huge parking lot. Well, they're running so many firefighters through it, they literally are using it 7 days a week.
I wondered if
all year,
because I saw your video and you're out at a different place.
I thought I had told you about.
I don't think
maybe
you did.
I didn't.
I don't think you did. Bob Dawson, patron member Bob Dawson, was down at the store. He's going to paint it for us, and he had saw that you were out in Natchez. From the video. Actually, Chris, his wife, recognized the parking lot.
Did she?
Yeah.
So the fire training academy is busy. So we had to do the school because we needed some officers certified.
Yeah.
And so we basically found this facility. It's an old lumber mill, but the pavement's pretty damn good. It's not in use anymore. We got permission, very nice people. But what that means is I basically spent 4 days, and we had to design an entire course. So when we do that, we design the patterns. It's kind of a creative process on how we want and what we want to train officers on. And then you got to measure it all out. We have to test ride it to make sure it's testing them in the way we want to test new officers. And then you got to paint it all. And this takes a long time. And so I had to do that. At the same time, the week before that, the week after that, I had to design, because we have the North American Motors Officer Association training and competition coming up May 16th, 17th, and 18th in Yakima, Washington at the Central Yakima Fairgrounds, State Fair Park. And it is open to the public. This will come out after, but everybody knows that in the private Facebook group and stuff. If the people want to come, the first 2 days, 16th and 17th, they're training and practice, and then the 18th is competition. It's basically law enforcement agencies from all over the Northwest for the most part, and Canada. What's that? Eight Canada coming down. So we got the Canucks coming down. They're always fun, and we just train and compete, and it's a huge conference. But anyways, we're hosting it this year, our agency, and it's hosted all over by different agencies. But 5 years ago we did it. Well, we got it again. And I was responsible for a lot of stuff, to include completely in charge of setting up 2 courses, 2 training and competition courses, large courses. It's a huge area of the State Fair Park parking lot and Sundome area. So that took us 5 days. And just setting up the course, painting, because I needed to get it done, because now because I knew motor school was coming up. Well, now 2 weeks is done. Bam, we leave this coming Tuesday for our 10-day Death Valley trip. And then bam, I get back from that and I have the weekend off and Namoa's here. So it needed to be set and painted and ready to go. So that has been, it's been a busy time.
Yeah. We really haven't worked together in like a month or more. I took vacation.
Which is how we ended up here on a Sunday, right?
Yeah. I went to Cabo with some friends of mine, beginning of the month, beginning of April, and then you had all that going on. And usually with your schedule, you have Fridays and Mondays off to kind of alternate, and those are our lab work days. And you haven't had those days off because you've been setting up courses. So, I mean, it's been I feel like it's been about a month since we've gotten together. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Because me and Lurch get together a lot. I usually get, every other weekend I get a 4-day weekend, and that Monday and Friday we get together. And so we're behind on podcasts, which is why we're here trying to cram 3 of them in today before we go on our trip. I have been cranking out the shorts. We'll talk about those a little bit. I took advantage of what I could do in the evenings during motor school because it's a big time commitment. It's physically and mentally exhausting even for the instructors. It's intense, and we'll get a little bit into that. But so here we are, and usually we do our summer trip and our patron meetup in June.
Right.
But because we're going to Death Valley, we had to push it because we don't want to be down there when it's 115 in June.
No.
So
that'd be miserable.
We pushed this forward, and it's just the way. And then we got some other stuff coming up in the summer. So it's a busy season. So I do apologize that we haven't put out a live recently. If you're listening to this, we'll get back into that probably June. We just need to get through May and then
need to survive May.
We need to survive and try to get out the content that we can. So we appreciate, I know a lot of you love those and we love them too, but we just couldn't make it happen. So anyways, jump in any time too, Lurch. We're just going to spitball this. So first week was, let's see, it's April 30th at the time of this. So the last day of class was the 28th. So it was like let me pull up actually. Let's see. Oh, it's upgrading. Anyways, it was the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, it's completed. That was quick.
Oh, hey.
Look at that. So looking at a calendar.
Was that the 10th?
Oops. This is March, April. Yeah. Where is it?
Motor school? Oh, there you go. 17th. Started on the 17th.
Why am I so blind?
Or just because of the color it is right there. Your cursor.
Oh, yeah. Because it's already completed.
Yeah.
17th through the 28th. So, obviously that's early season for the area we live in. I will just tell you, we haven't done them that early, but we need to do because of my schedule. It was effing cold. It was kind of miserable. And if you don't think that takes a lot out of you, your body trying to stay warm all day.
Yeah, it'll zap you.
By the end of the days, dude, I mean, I got some shorts done, but yeah, good word. It zapped me. It was like 30 degrees in the mornings. And if you don't, we live in Yakima, our course is out in Natchez, Washington. So it's about a 20-25 minute cruise.
And you're going
via
up
70
the mountains.
Yeah. Or via Highway 12 at 70 towards the mountains. It's a different environment up there. It's windy. It comes down the valley.
Yep.
It rained on us multiple days. The students, we don't stop in motor school.
Nope.
You got limited amount of time, and 2 weeks is barely enough. I wish I had a month. We literally have to cram. And if you've ever been through it, or the guys will tell you, it seems like a lot of time until you get there, like, holy shit, I could have used like 5-10 more days of this, but you either make it or you don't. And the timelines are the timelines. We were like 43, 45 wind, rain. Of course, I wear my, my beloved Gerbing heated vest. I've used it for years. I haven't ever reviewed it. If you want to get one, guys, I highly recommend it. Just please use our affiliate link, lawabidingbiker.com/Revzilla is how it'll get you there. And then if you order it, but I got 3 batteries for it. And it's the Gerbing. Can you grab it? They changed the name of it.
I'll take a look. Yeah.
I can't think of what the name of it is.
Well, I think they got bought out by Mobile Warming.
No, it's called some Guide, Gyde, but it's Gerbing.
The actual model. Okay. Yeah.
Well, no. It's like let's see. I'm looking. This episode can go anywhere, so we don't care. It's just a BS session here.
Gerbing. I don't even find Gerbing in the...
That's what I'm saying. They changed the name to GYDE or something. Here, Gerbing 12-volt heated jacket liner. If you just grab it, it's hanging right there behind you.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a vest, the one I have. It doesn't have sleeves. What does it say on the back? I think it's GYDE.
GYDE.
Yeah, so it's Gerbing, but I don't know if that's the model. Let me see. Yeah, so...
It doesn't say Gerbing on it anywhere anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. I bought that years ago. I've had that for years. Yeah, Gerbing Guide. Here it is. The Gerbing GYDE 7-volt heated vest. That's it right there. See?
Yep.
So it is the model. They see the search results said Gerbing Guide. So I don't know. I'm not going to spend any more time on this, but it's the Torrid, TORRID vest, and I'm going to type that into Revzilla here, see if they have it. But for whatever reason, it says Guide on. I don't know if they switched companies or I don't know. Who cares? Anyways, that's the one. Look for the Gerbing Torrid. I'm looking. Am I getting search results? There it is. Is that it?
No. It looks like they've replaced it with a 12-volt.
Oh, so it's okay. So 12-volt?
Yeah, there's a
Did you find
12-volt. Yeah, let me...
on Revzilla?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
No, it's fine. I don't need it. Just put it in the show notes.
Okay.
We'll put it in the show notes for you. But anyways, highly recommended. Helped save my bacon quite a few times during those cold weeks. Now, the following week, we suddenly went from cold spring, and it finally turned headed towards summer. Like bam!
Yeah,
now we're
we just
from
skip spring.
30 in the morning and 43 highs to 70s during the day. Just like that. As soon as Monday hit, I had the weekend. It started warming up. Bam, 70s all week. Which is perfect weather for training. Now we did. It's a high washout rate in motor school. We did graduate 2. One from the county, one from my agency. We did have to wash, and it's unfortunate because he made it very, very far, but couldn't pass the final qual. It's very, very difficult. A few injuries, but none serious enough to wash any students. There was one I was worried about. He nailed his ankle, but he toughed it out and babied it over the weekend, and he was able to come back. A lot of guys are washed just because of injuries too, because a lot of crashes, a lot of bikes down, a lot of tiredness, frustration, and things can happen. All right. So let's talk about some of the, so this was an interesting school. If you guys follow those shorts, Lurch, I put the link to that playlist in here. At any rate, anytime you want to, I'll just mention, anytime you want to, I have a collection over the years. I try to do more of it. We get sidetracked on other stuff, but I try to do the training videos. And recently I did a bunch of shorts. They're really 1 minute precise to the point about how to run training patterns. Some of them, the common ones, what the mistakes are and how to do them properly. LAB-336-Police/training. That basically takes you to the YouTube playlist. There's long form ones. When I taught motor school, when I became an instructor 3 or 4 years ago, I have a series in there. Anything that has to do with motorcycle training or one-off training patterns is all over there. LAB-336-Police/training. So this was interesting, and I'll tell you some of the mechanical stuff that we go through. You might find of interest during these schools, and I will tell you this one school, probably out of the ones I've given, seems like, I don't know, it was a bit more. It seemed like, and it was frustrating as if motor school isn't hard enough. I was the only one from our agency kind of leading this thing. And to try to get bikes in the shop, get bikes out of the shop, bikes down, adjustments. Because of that, I have to give the students, or I do want to give the students, a certain amount of time. We're supposed to do certain things on certain dates, but that's assuming they've had the proper hours of training. They've got to meet certain tests, benchmarks at certain times. Well, I had to push the actual final qual back 2 full days, because I kept track. Okay, well, they've missed this and they've missed this and they've missed this, and that's this amount of hours. And to be fair to them, before qual, I want to give them the amount of hours they were supposed to have. And so I just had to completely screw the school up basically, and we had to readjust stuff, and we made do, and I flowed the best I could with it. We spent a lot of time at Apple State Power Sports, standing around and/or coming back and forth. I know those guys very well, if I didn't already.
Yeah.
They took care of us. Shout out.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Man.
There's always some concern, when dealerships change hands, and we've talked about that in past episodes. So I'm glad to hear that they're doing well down there.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a while.
I don't know how that is for civilians.
But they were good to
As
you
a
guys.
police agencies, they took care of us. Got bikes on the lift, pushed stuff out, got things done timely, called on a whim and said, bring it, we'll get it in, we'll make it work. So I can't ask for better service from parts. Ordered a lot of parts to service. So good job, guys, on that. And I told them I have to do something nice for those guys. So here's what we went through on parts. Now we ride Harley Electra Glides, police models. And we'll talk a little bit more about these. One clutch lever, one of the, clutch levers, two primaries, outer primary covers,
Jeez.
technically two clutches,
Okay.
4, but we had to buy 4, but we burned 2.
Wow.
7 kickstand springs,
Holy shit.
1 windshield.
Somebody go over the bars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I
His
saw that.
knee, fucking karate knee. It happened. Do you remember the last motor school? I sent pictures to.
Well,
Same thing. They broke 2 last school.
Yeah, I saw the post that you put on it, and a lot of people were asking, how it happened, and that's the only assumption I could make. Somebody went over the bars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they drop it and go down, if you have your forward momentum, you just
it stops and
knee
you don't.
drive. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. We had 2 spark plugs, air cleaner, because it needed a tune-up. We're still not exactly sure. It gets running like shit when it gets hot. One front fender skirt, and a complete inner fairing.
What?
And a complete outer fairing. Yeah.
How do you take that out? The body? Somebody go forward and just take it out? I'm curious about that one. Everything
so the
else
bikes
I get,
go
but,
over a lot.
Yeah.
But usually they go over on the crash bars, right? And that's kind of where it stops. When you crash hard and/or actually high-sided. But if you go over hard enough and you're ripping it, it will go off the crash bars, and then it hits that bat wing, the outside of the ear. Yeah. The outside of the bat wing, not the ear, but the out. Yeah. And it cracked, it hit that seam, what I'm talking about. And it punched a hole in both.
Okay.
That was new.
Yeah.
And we've scraped them before.
Yeah.
We've never demolished one. That's that's an expensive thing.
Yeah.
It's like over $1,000, $1,300 for just those 2 pieces. And it was on the sergeant's bike.
Ooh. So let me ask you for the listening audience, because there was some questions about this too.
Yeah.
When I tried to go through the State Patrol's motorcycle class, I was one of the washouts, by the way. They had training bikes. They had a fleet of training bikes. And there was mechanics there we were lucky enough to have 2 full-time mechanics, and they would work on the bikes,
the full-time mechanic.
Yeah. And I'm listening to you, I can tell you're the mechanic on stuff you can fix. The big stuff's got to go down the shop. But about the bikes, do you guys have training bikes? Are you using older bikes, the agencies, or is it you bring your own bike and then use it and we'll fix it when it's done? And what's the setup there?
So, like the county brought their own bike.
Yeah.
If we have other agencies, like last time we had Ellensburg, last school, they bring their own bike.
And so it really just depends on what they bring, whether they have a training bike or if they're just bringing their service bikes.
And they're responsible if their bike breaks, whether they have a backup.
Okay.
But for our agency, no. And that's something I'm working on.
Okay.
So the way we have it,
you rotate them out, you're selling them off, but maybe in the future keep some.
So we have our fleet of bikes that we normally ride, and then we have 2 13s right now that are on standby for auction.
Alternates.
They're backups.
Backups, yeah.
From our fleet. So if one of ours goes down, so we always keep a couple backups, but they're not really technically trainer, because like the guy we just certified, he's not going to be a full-time motors officer like us. He will be someday, maybe when I retire or something, but he can come out and help us with escorts and parades, and he can do traffic detail overtime. So he would use one of those backup bikes. Or if my bike went down for a week, I would use one of the backup bikes. But there's only 2 of them. And so you have to take those 2 and use them for training.
Yeah.
But then the predicament comes when one of those goes down, or both of them. Right. Now you're into the regular motors officers' bikes, which are in good condition because we know how to ride.
And it sounds like
we don't dump them. We don't.
Because you said it was a sergeant's bike.
He had to give it up, dude.
Oh, no.
He had to give it up. He got trashed. All this stuff, the clutch lever, one of the primaries, the windshield wasn't his. The front fender skirt was his. The interfering and outer fairing.
Oh, wow.
We had some conversations. We were, what do you do? You can't.
There's some money involved there, right? I mean, if you're going to have
a bike too,
but I'm going back to the practice fleet. You know, there's some cost to having a practice fleet of bikes just sitting there.
Yes.
But I can tell you that the practice bikes that the state patrol had, they were in rough shape. You know, they would fix what needed to be fixed,
make them run,
so they'd run, but they were beat to hell. Yeah. So you can. On a training bike, you can leave a dent or a scratch or whatever, as long as it works functionally. On your street bikes, your service bikes, you got to keep them in good order. So I'm just curious, you know, what the cost analysis would be on having to use service bikes versus a training fleet.
Right.
I'm sure that's something you'll be thinking about.
Well, I have.
Okay.
I've argued it with not argued. I've
debated,
talked to admin about it. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. And here's where I think it's more cost effective, and I know my sergeant's on board with it, whether he'll get it passed, but after having to use his bike, I go, this is what I've been talking about, trying to tell everybody.
Sure.
We can't just rely on 2 extra bikes because number 1, they're actually used on the street. Number 2, if we run out or one breaks, we're into regular motors officers' bikes. Now, our bikes, the reason they're in good shape is because we're all trained by now. We've had years on the road, so we just aren't crashing a lot. We train hard, but we're past the crashing every 2 seconds. So the bikes are in much better shape as far as that goes. But here's my argument to that is to having 2 spares, and this is what I told him. I said, we need to not auction the 2. We need 2 trainers. Here's the deal. On this, let's just go through this. So here's how it kind of works out. If we would just had those as trainers, we wouldn't have had to buy an inner and outer fairing because we would just leave it broke.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right?
You put duct tape on it.
So think about the costs. Okay, on an outer primary, I probably would, if we had just trainers, instead of wearing through primaries. So the way let me just finish this. So you wear a hole in the bottom of your primary from sliding it too many times and it starts leaking. There's some aftermarket products that you can put in that spot and you can drop it thousands of times and it won't wear through your primary. So you buy 2 of those because they're your trainers. They kind of look like shit, but who cares? It's kind of like pit bars, whatever.
Yeah, skid plate of some
So you wouldn't have to buy primaries anymore. I'm looking at the rest. You could put a cheap ass windshield, buy some of those, polycarbonate that are $10, fit $20 a piece, So
Amazon specials.
So if you broke them, who cares? Clutch lever. We have a couple extra clutch levers laying around. And so I would have just put an old clutch lever on it, So you would have been out of a lot. And anything, like you say, the fender skirt, right? We don't even put those. One of them doesn't even have one anymore. If you don't know what the fender skirt is, on the police Electras, and I forget what others they come on, it's on the very back of your front tire on the fender. It's a little chrome. It's got,
I think it's got a Harley emblem or something.
It does, and it's a machined.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's got lines and it's black and chrome, and it's for looks. They're stupid. I wish they would just stop making police bikes. So what happens is, because new students suck, they hit cones and it goes up underneath the tip of the cone in between the tire and the fender, and it completely bends the shit out of those fender skirts and pops the bolts, and they're just in the way. So the spare bikes, we pretty much rip them off, or they look bent and eventually get ripped off. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. And you can
get them on Amazon, dude.
Get what?
It's fender skirts.
Oh, can you?
There's some, I'm sure they come from China because the way that they're
are
labeled, but interesting. Sorry.
No, that's all right. So Yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not in charge of the purse strings and all that. But what we're going to get out of those 13s. I think last ones we got auction, we'll get 8 out of them, anyways, that's not for me. I just make my opinions or known. And, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with budgets and things like that. But, I think it's a good argument, to have them. Number one, just leave them trashed and they're not out on the road looking like, cause now, you got to take some bikes trash sometimes out on with bent fender skirts and stuff. It just looks like crap, but whatever. On that note, Lurch, let's talk a little bit about, cause people worry. We get a lot of comments like that about training their bikes.
It finally happened. It happened. He shit on me.
Yeah. That's just to
Louis,
remind you.
Bastard.
God
damn it.
Hey, bikeaholics. Searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out the wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. 03D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing, more time riding. 03D has a design team of riders with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them. Email sales@03d.com. Give them a call, 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged. So check out 03D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Gold Wings. Better yet, please help support us and head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of 03D products. So a lot of guys worry, or we get on the shorts, I wish I could do that on my bike. I wish I could have a trainer bike and blah, 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 and whatever. So I just want to put that to rest. If that's the reason you're not training, that's a bad reason, because this is not, depends on what kind of patterns you're doing. And people that I've said it before, that's what crash bars are made for. I've done these patterns in my own personal street glide. And yes, I've dumped my personal street glide, and we can actually crash those police Harleys. They've been crashed hundreds and hundreds of times, especially those bikes. And the crash bars they're fine.
Yeah.
If you get on your side and look underneath them on the curve, you'll see they're scraped up. You'll see my police bike scraped up. You'll see my Harley street glide, but I'd have to show you. So these bikes can handle it. It doesn't hurt them going down.
And there's things you can do to prevent if you don't want scratches on your crash bars.
They got that primary protector.
But you can put rubber hosing around it.
If you're
you can get fire hose and zip tie it around there. They actually make little pucks that you can bolt on. Have you seen those little deals?
Yeah.
It's like a slider. Yeah, it clamps on in the curve on the bottom there, it clamps on. And so if you tip it over, it hits that piece.
There you go.
Those are replaceable.
There you go. Yeah. I didn't even know they had such a beast.
Sliders or something.
Sliders. Yeah. Same thing for your primer. It's like a little protective metal piece. Some people put on their Batwing fairing on those if you have a Street Glide or Ultra or something, they cut those noodles, those foam pool noodles, and they'll just tape it around there just in case you do go over hard. So obviously, and it depends how hard you're training. Like, are you doing police style patterns or are you doing civilian style just to get yourself better? But just dropping your bike does not hurt it. And Lurch already gave you some options to protect it, and that's cool. I have no problem with that. But the whole fact that you're afraid to drop your bike, just get it over with. Feel what it feels like. Just step over it. Stand up. It's first day of motor school. We have our guys do, because we have to teach them how to pick up bikes. We have them stand up off the seat, let go of the bars, and right between your legs, it'll drop right on the crash bars, and you'll be over it. And it's going to happen if you're going to train, but you should be training. And what's more important, I say, having the perfectly beautiful bike or being alive, and the lack of training and not doing any kind of training, even some easy drills like emergency braking, which you won't drop your bike it's foolish. I know life can get busy, and I know I'm lucky because I'm a police motor officer, but even on my personal bike, just because it operates a little bit different, I constantly, like when I'm coming up to my driveway on the road, nobody's behind me, I'll just do my 40-mile-an-hour emergency braking, just because that's going to save my life. And that bike brakes a little bit different. So you don't have to go do all out police motors. That's going to take you a lot of time, but at least get out there and do some training and stop being worried. about dropping your bike. You're going to lose your footing in gravel and drop it. It's not embarrassing. The bikes are made to drop. That's why Harley puts the bars on them. Those bars aren't for highway pegs. That's not why they were put there in the first place. They were put there to protect your engine. We just use them for different things. So just remember that. I know, I get it. You buy a new bike and you're all afraid, but those Harleys literally drop them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and they get up, start up, and you continue through patterns. It still amazes me to this day. Your clutch will be fine. Speaking of clutches, let's dive into that real quick, lightly.
Okay.
So we did burn, the students burned 2 clutches. That's because they're overusing them. But also there is a break-in period for clutches. It's a fine line. The clutches, they went into that school with the clutches already old. I didn't know how long they were going to last. I adjusted them. They're cable clutches on the 13s. And because we put new plates in them, I thought I had them broken enough, and I don't know, every student's different. It's hard to hear exactly how much they're not in the proper friction zone.
Yeah.
And they clearly weren't. And so they smoked 2 of them. In fact, one of the videos is the smoke coming out of the thing.
That.
It's not good.
No.
So we had to take those bikes back in. I had the Screaming Eagle plates, which are a little bit hardier, put on them, and they're actually cheaper in the kit, which is interesting, but they're more robust. And I spent 4 hours doing all kinds of drills with them out on the road and on the greenway path, getting those. We went on some hills, and I'd have them let them out and stop and burning them. You got to set the plates.
Yeah.
You got to marry them first. And once they're married, you can friction zone the shit out. They smell like they're burning, but they're not, because but if you don't marry them good enough at the beginning, you'll burn them. You'll smoke the plates, glaze them. And that's what they did. And that's not my fault. It's just, how much time do you take away from school? And I've put students on a new clutch before, and because they were a better rider, they didn't smoke them right away. So anyways, my police bike has 17,000 miles on it. It's the original clutch. And I train more than anybody because I'm training at every school. I'm doing the MOA, plus I'm qualifying, plus I'm training with our guys. And it's the original clutch, hydraulic, same plates. So
but
it
you're
doesn't
keeping it in the friction zone properly and
correct.
Not over revving it and burning up the clutch and that kind of stuff.
I know how to ride. Right. That's years, right? And so I get it. At first you're going to, but anyways, it doesn't necessarily mean, and that's at a police motor level. If you're just doing civilian stuff, your friction zone is not going to ruin your clutch, guys. Slipping your clutch is not going to, those clutches are frickin'. If you saw what we did to them in person, you'd be like, okay, I'm not worried about mine at all.
Yeah.
Because those guys are just, that does not sound normal to be revving your bike that high. But anyways, so that's another thing we get. Don't worry about your clutches. And if you go watch a lot of those shorts, you'll see some of the drills. And I always say, all those drills that I show you, I always say you can open those up. Like you don't even try them at the dimensions I tell you. Open them up. You can work to that if you really want to push yourself, but anything's better than nothing. So start out small and work your way up. So what else we got? Oh, the kickstand springs. Let's talk about kicks. People are like, how in the hell are you going through so many kickstand springs? Well, I'll tell you. You know what? You want to ride longer?
Yeah, I do.
Regardless of your kickstand spring?
Yeah, I'll just zip tie it.
Your ass should be ride longer and treat your ass some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around in your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans you up, helps dampen them vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
Love mine.
We'll be rocking them on our trip.
Absolutely.
The last day of motor school after the guys that pass, we just take them on a nice day ride.
I figured that's what you were doing when you told me you were up at Owen's Meats. I figured that was the graduation ride. It was.
And the Brick in Roslyn is where I usually take them to.
Okay.
But it's a police bike and it has a tractor seat. And everybody asked me about that tractor seat. I'll say this first. It's not for long distance for me.
Yeah, not for most people.
It's perfect for motors.
Absolutely.
It puts us in an aggressive riding position. It puts us up over the tank. It's what we need. We're on and off the bike around town, stopping cars, but I would never choose a tractor seat for long distance. That being said, I forgot my butt buffer.
Oh, no.
And I felt it just going to Roslyn, which is like an hour and a half ride.
Yeah,
And I was like, damn it. I should have thrown my butt buffer on before I left up there because I usually don't ride my police bike that long distance. But anyways, they could, the butt buffer, that's what's nice about it. I could slap the same one that I slap on my regular Street Glide, and I could slap it on my police bike. So, all right. Kickstand springs.
Yeah, how the hell you damage so many of
That's
those?
the one thing that I wish Harley, one of the big things that I wish, but again,
I guess you get over far enough, you'll get into it.
most civilians that are listening will use the same kickstand for the entire life of their bike.
Yeah.
So they're only going bad. So I have to keep that in perspective. Harley's not going to redesign that just for police.
We did one, only one I'm aware of. We did it on my bike. And
Yeah,
I think
it
it was
was
defective.
it
or
had to
something.
be.
Yeah, because it was a brand new bike.
Because you don't drag your kickstand spring.
No,
No way in hell.
Not me, not this guy.
No.
I already told you I walked
It
out
had
of
not a
motor school.
scratch on it. Yeah.
But it was hanging down.
It was. It got loose.
Yeah, so I think it was just defective. But
So I wonder,
7 of them. Wow.
because I've never heard of anybody just from putting their kickstand up and down, wearing them out. But anyways, what happens is it's one of the lowest points on the bike. And so when you dip the bike and you hear that real quick over dipping, or even we just scrape them. When you hear us dragging in a pattern, and also they just go bad. They get scraped up and it stretches them.
Right.
And they only last so long, and they get loose, and now your kickstand just, right away because your bike won't start because
it's hanging down.
It's hanging down. And that'd be the other indicators it's hanging down. So we just dumped the bikes on their side, and we've actually done a video on. I can change one. We had it down to like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The wrench was ready. 2 minutes. So simple. We have a video on it.
We do, absolutely.
And it shows you how to do that really quick. And we just dump them on the crash bars so that we don't have to lay on our back, and then we can do it like kneeling. And we of course kickstand side up, and we change those. The other way they break, again, it's from striking. I broke 2. Number 1, I'm showing students how to ride stuff, and I'm just tearing mine up. And then number 2, we went off a curb. We jump curbs. We go up curbs. We go through parks. One of our students dumped his bike twice on grassy hills. But I jumped.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I jumped a curb, and he did exactly what you did. And I told him the same exact spiel because he's not a dirt bike rider. I said, listen, what you did, because everybody else made it. I go, what you did is you fucking floored it at the top of the hill. And he just went out like a sack of shit, dude. But we jumped a curb, and it was a little bit too high, and I couldn't get lined up for it to get enough speed to jump off of it. And I framed it going off the curb, and instantly bike died. And I was like, yep, there goes a kickstand. And then another guy did it. Bam, he pops his. I was like, shut up. I couldn't stop people fast enough because follow the leader.
Yep.
They're trying to stay up with me. And anyways, so those kickstand springs, once they get hit like that, they stretch and your kickstand won't go up. But you got a video.
It's the link will be in the show notes, but also it's lawabidingbiker.com/Jiffy stand.
There you go.
We all call it a kickstand, but it's a Jiffy stand.
That's what Harley, they got to make it that way. So our county guy was riding a BMW R1250. He did break a foot peg the very first day. We were just having them drop the bike so we could teach them how to properly lift bikes, because I'll be doing a lot of it during the training. And somehow, bam, broke. Now, of course, a BMW is not easy to get parts for.
No.
So some police departments obviously use the BMWs. They're great bikes, but different style bike, obviously. So, of course, nobody in town, it's got to be specially engineered from some German drinking a beer, specially sanding and polishing. BMWs are just as crazy as Harleys when it comes to expenses.
Oh, yeah.
And the BMW taxes, trust me. So I don't care if you're a BMW guy or you're a Harley guy, it's all the same. I've dealt with both these bikes. They can't even get parts half the time. And they basically stole a peg from a full-time officer who now can't ride because it took like 5-6 days to get that. Some German guy flew it over and delivered it. Special BMW foot peg. So we were teasing BMW. Harley's the same.
Oh, yeah.
But they did break some stuff. I will say one thing about the BMWs, which is interesting. Those 1250s is they are runaway bikes. And what I mean by that is I had it in the last motor school too. We've had to chase those bikes down. What happens is they're supposed to die like the Harley. When you slam it that hard, they die. They have a kill switch. Well, those BMWs are supposed to have one too. By the way, the BMWs have all kinds of glitches. Those police bikes, like one of them, like Oscar's, his lights would just go on for no reason. When it was off, he'd walk away. No, just like headlight.
Oh, weird.
And his taillight. It was specifically his taillight. We always tell him, your taillight's on. Yeah, I know. It'll go off in a bit. And then we'd be sitting at lunch. Your taillight's on. Yeah, I know. And they never could fix it. They've got quirks. Trust me. And Harley has quirks too, but some people, these brand loyal people trust me. Harley has its quirks and BMW has its quirks too. And this is one of them, is those BMWs do not always die when they go on their side. And when those guys get a little more aggressive, like this rider, they're going faster on patterns, dude. It goes on its side, and if he's under any throttle, it doesn't die.
It stands back up.
That back wheel keeps going, and it usually starts doing big circles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
on the ground.
Yeah.
Just grinding the shit out.
Correct.
Stuff.
And it goes away from you. We run after it, dude. Because it's
even harder
it's not
to catch because it's going in circles.
Correct.
If it's going in a straight line, it might be easier to catch.
Right.
But you're trying to catch up this damn thing going in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's difficult.
It looks like some, but it's kind of dangerous too, because there's other people on the course.
Us trying to catch roosters out in your hen house out here.
Yeah.
Chasing chickens.
But so that's one quirk with the BMWs. It's a little bit dangerous on a course too, because you have other riders close by in patterns, and you're like, if you don't catch it, and you got to hit the kill switch, you got to grab the handlebars without getting taken out by the thing. It's I'm not gonna lie to you, it's sketchy. I think
absolutely
BMW needs to fix that shit. That's more of a safety thing, rather a light going on or something is one thing. But those BMWs are runaway bikes. I will tell you one thing about the BMWs is the guys that ride them love them, but they will tell you the pitfalls of them. And one of the pitfalls, obviously, we've talked about in the past. Those guys going to Roslyn yesterday or Friday, it was an 1.5 hour ride. We started in the canyon. Halfway up the canyon, they're already standing.
Oh, geez.
Their asses hurt. Their legs are locked up. Mid controls. Your legs are locked back. Even Oscar will tell you, he goes, it's a fun bike to ride, but it is the most uncomfortable. I mean, they got to run all over the county, take him 45 minutes to get to a call. And he said he has to stand. He can't. Knees lock up the seats. And they even have custom seats from that Rich's Customs over on the west side. Isn't that the name of it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. We're not affiliated, but they have those, and their asses still get. Those bikes are just not made. Those style bikes, guys, are not. I mean, I'll tell you, it's like my KLR. It hurts after a while, and you got to stand and you got to move around. And here I am in front of them on a Harley, and I just laugh. Of course, we have radio cams. I go, "How's that Beamer treating you?" Yeah. I got my legs all sprawled out on my floorboards. My toes are pointed out. I'm leaned back up on my tractor seat with my back kind of against the trunk, and I'm just laughing. I don't got to stand the whole day riding there or back. And so those guys will tell you that if once you break people down and they really are willing to talk about the pros and cons of bikes. I'm totally fine talking about cons of Harleys, but you get some of the Beamer guys that won't talk, they're perfect bikes. No, they are far from perfect, but they are good bikes, and they're fun and they're fast, and they're good for police work, especially when you're on and off them all the time, making traffic stops. They're not riding long distance on them. So for that, they're pretty good, but they hold up good. They get dropped hundreds and hundreds of times too. And I will say those Beamers are just as tough as the Harleys when it comes to motor school. So there you go. We'll wrap this up here, but I got to do this. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that could come loose and slap your paint.
Slap your paint.
Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. His father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Yep, these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you have Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to the Law-Abiding Biker store. Check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags.
Rick Rack.
Nicely done,
in honor
bro.
of Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, buddy. So let's wrap this up. So all the training. So I wanted to talk about this. I am excited, guys. This is cool news, and you'll be seeing it on the YouTube channel. I'll do a kind of a walk around it, but it's already been ordered and fitted. I'm currently riding a 2018 Police Electra Glide, and it's got the 107 Milwaukee 8 in it, and I've got about 17,000 on it now. In a couple weeks, hopefully right after NAMOA in May, I will take delivery of my brand new 2023 Harley Police Electra Glide, moving up to the 114 M8. And here's one thing, which I've wanted for a long time. People get really, police. They're a bunch of crying babies sometimes.
Oh, cops.
Cops.
Yeah, they
dude.
could be the biggest whiners sometimes.
Dude.
About,
I've been a whiner
what
too.
What gear you have.
Oh my God, dude.
He or she's got this. I want that.
You're getting a $40,000 bike that's decked out with lights and police radio, and you're going to.
Somebody will bitch about something.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
I used to say it, and I was also guilty of it too. You don't realize until you're older, right?
Especially when you're young.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something.
It's me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What can I get?
And
yeah.
I used to say it's kind of like working with 5-year-olds.
Yeah, totally. Oh, well said, dude.
And I was one of those 5-year-olds at one point. Yeah. So.
Yep. Well said. But so we were one of the only agencies, and I always, I didn't complain about it, but I'm not that particular. As far as this goes, but the current, you can look out that window, you see that current police trunk. You can only get that for like police. It's like a medium-sized trunk. If you guys see the bike, you will if you watch any of my training videos, lawabidingbiker.com/training.
Is that a Harley trunk?
It is.
Okay.
It's Harley factory for police.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, anyways, I've said for years, like that whole trunk, I actually did a video, complete walk around. If you want to look that up, it's got a ton of hits. Showing you every aspect of how my police Harley is set up. And if you're at all interested in that, I reveal everything. Like if you ever want to know about a police Harley, that's the one to look at. But it's a smaller trunk. And the problem with that trunk, I've always said, some of the guys like that trunk for looks. I'm like, I'm less about looks. I always have been than functionality, because I actually want to just ride. And I do like looks too, to a certain extent, but that medium trunk, if you look at that video, it's got a printer in it, thermal printer. It's got a modem. It's got an extra battery. It's got our computer dock. What do you say? It's like packing something 10 pounds of shit.
Like putting 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack.
Yeah, exactly. That I knew Lurch had a saying. Lurch always has good sayings for me. It's insane. And we have no room for gear in that trunk. And then we've got our saddlebags, and in one of the saddlebags, half of it's taken up with a rifle, a short AR-15, and it just doesn't leave a lot of room. And so I was always, Seattle PD for a long time has ran the full big trunks.
Oh, yeah.
And they actually put a backrest on that full trunk. I'm like, that
well, you can push,
is
push
the
it forward.
shit. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They push it forward.
Remember my 08 Street Glide?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an aftermarket trunk, but the docking hardware set forward, so you as the rider actually leaned up against the trunk. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So that's what Seattle PD has done for years. And I always said when we trained over there, when we were doing escort stuff, I was like, that's badass. And a few of our guys were like, oh, it looks like shit. I don't want that. And I'm like, I want the space, dude. But whatever. Each to their own opinion. I think it's funny. Anyways, they don't make that trunk anymore, that small one. So my new bike is coming with the full trunk, and I'm super stoked about that. Rides the same, doesn't change the dynamics of the bike at all. And I will have room in the trunk. Not everything will have to be so crammed.
And I want
to put a backrest on it.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was looking something up. So you're getting the full size trunk.
Well, they're not making the other one anymore.
Okay.
So I have to go with the full size trunk, which is fine by me.
How's it going to come from the factory? Is it going to be set up like my bike right now that's sitting out front with the King Tour Pack on it, or is it going to be pushed forward?
I don't know yet.
Okay. It'd be interesting. Okay.
It's got the rack. If you look at the police bike, they've got the rack for it, but it looks like it has the cutout so you can push it where you want.
Yeah, because you got the tractor seat.
I think
the dual seat.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to come, honestly. But we'll find out. And if I can, I hope it comes with a backrest, but I don't know if it does. With that said,
we'll figure it out as long as they allow you to do it.
Exactly. But do I want a new bike? Yes. But I will tell you, as we wind this podcast down, is the reason one of the guys is actually up for a bike, and he's like me, is in the same camp. We've had our bikes, they're 18s. They're like perfect for us.
Yeah.
Because
you know it.
We know it. And it takes a long time to get everything worked out. We pack a lot of electronics into these things, radios and computers and printers. And when you get a new bike, it's a nightmare because you're back and forth to IT and you're trying, it's just, and I know that seems, I'm not complaining, but he's literally giving up his new bike and giving it to one of the newer guys because he doesn't want to deal with it. I go, dude, that's actually a good idea, but there are two coming. I'm certainly don't want to be like, oh, they're going to, come on. So I'm just taking the new one. He also is one that likes that smaller trunk. So I'm not sure. So I'm like, whatever, dude, I'll deal with it. But, plus I want that 114 and, so it should be fun, but that's one of the reasons some guys don't want the new bike is you get it all dialed in. It's your baby. And,
police cars are the same way. You get them set up the way you like it, and then you got to change it. Now you got new technology, new things to deal with. Yeah, it's a routine. Traffic stops a routine. You throw something different into it. Now you got some distractions and
creatures of habit, right?
Law enforcement's definitely creatures of habit.
Totally.
We don't like change.
Yeah. There'll be two of us getting those new bikes. And here's the other thing I'll say is 21 and newer come with cable clutches. Actually, we're going to do another episode on the AIM Light Force clutch cylinder. So listen to that episode as I'm going to be diving deeper into clutch and hydraulic and what we've learned, with Harley going back to cable. I will tell you that our police bikes, the 21 and newer, just like the civilian models, come with the cable. But I will tell you, I am a huge proponent of hydraulic, and I'm not happy that they went back to cable. I have a lot of reasons for that. I've discussed them before, and I'll discuss them again in our AIM Force Slave. Mm-hmm. Is it AIM Force Light Force or
Light
something?
Force.
Light Force.
AIM Light Force.
Slave clutch cylinder, right? Mm-hmm. Which I'll get into that, but I don't just say it just because it's preference. I say it from a trainer aspect, from a guy that puts on a lot of miles off duty and every day on duty and working. The last motor school, we had clutches broken apart and derby covers off probably about 20 times with the old cable clutches. Two of them burned up. You got to do proper. It's just, trust me, if you properly train and actually learn how to ride a hydraulic, you will want to switch. It's only those that aren't completely familiar or don't want to try to change a little bit. But I will tell you, my guys, they bitched. They bitched when we switched them to hydraulics, when Harley came out with hydraulics. Now,
they're bitching because they got to go back?
Well, they're not.
Oh.
They bitch so loud, and our sergeant likes the hydraulic so much once they were all trained on him. You did this research for me.
Oh, that's
We're
right.
actually at the factory when they get to the dealership. We bought all the components. They're switching them all over because Harley does make the kit, and so does AIM. Mm-hmm. You looked at that, an aftermarket kit where you can actually make any bike hydraulic system. And when I buy a new Harley at some point, if it's still cable, I will be converting it. That'll be part of the deal when I buy it, is I want it all converted over to hydraulic system. It's just superior for street riding in a lot of ways. But we're not going to get into that in this episode because we went long enough. We got more to record. Do you have something to finish it off there, Lurch?
Just a couple things for the average rider out there to work on their slow work, their parking lots and parking and, turning, that kind of stuff.
Majority of your riding.
Yeah, just a couple of quick tips. What should guys practice on?
Boy.
I'm not talking drills and stuff. Just what are the things that they should routinely practice on? You mentioned emergency stopping already.
Yeah, and I could break that drill down. Do we want to do that in this episode? Because we're already at an hour and a half.
No, I just a couple tips, like gray area. What's a good way to work on the gray area?
Yeah, gray area, grab a 2x4 and just work on, it's friction zone is what most people call it. Locally, we call it gray zone. It's the same thing, but it's kind of where your clutch is not engaged, but is engaged, and somewhere in between there, how far you let your clutch out slowly is how much the bike will move, and vice versa. You just get a 2x4. And I show that drill in these shorts, and just work on stopping your rear wheel, first your front wheel, work your front wheel slowly up and over the 2x4, stop on your front wheel on top of it, then let your friction zone back out, slowly go off it. The point here is not to move the 2x4. Then you get your back tire right up to till it touches the 2x4, work your friction zone nice and easy till you're up on top of the 2x4, stop, work your friction zone slowly off of it. The point is you should not be spitting that 2x4 out the back. It shouldn't move. Just do that over and over. That's called clutch control, which will be everything. Work on, another one is your head and eyes. Even if you're doing regular turns, look where you want to turn in a parking lot. Don't look down. Don't look at other things. Look where you want to end up. Even wider U-turns, non-bar lock, just U-turns, looking, over your shoulder and where you want that U-turn to go. Head and eyes is super important. Friction zone, brake balance, clutch, throttle, just really work. You're going to have to work your throttle and friction zone when you're doing that 2x4 exercise. That'll kind of get it all. Braking, which we could get into that. I actually have that video ready. It's going to be released on the shorts probably in the next couple of weeks. It's ready to go. It's on my desktop. I've got a couple. The intersection will be released. That's where you should start after 2x4. And then I'm also going to release the 40 mile an hour braking. But essentially, you just need an open parking lot. This is the one, if any of them will save your life, this one is the one that's going to save your life. It's what I tell my students. The rest are going to make you safer. They could save your life too. But this one is where shit needs to happen. And I know people don't practice it, but you should. Find yourself a parking lot. Very simple. No cones needed. You just need a parking lot big enough. It doesn't take that long. You need to get up into at 40 miles an hour. You start at 25, but the goal is to work your way to 40 miles an hour. You at least need to be in second gear. Mark a line. That's your start line. Mark 75 feet later, mark it. You can mark it with a coat. You can mark it with a rock, the start and stop. It doesn't matter. You don't need cones. As long as it's somewhere in that 75 feet, you need to stop. So you get up into 40 miles an hour. Eventually, your second gear at least, you can't cover your brake. You can't cover. This is emergency. It's a 40 mile an hour brake and evade exercise. And so once you hit that line, you're not covering anything. Once you hit the start line at 40 miles an hour, second gear, bam, your threshold braking, 70% front, 30% rear, trying to stay out of your ABS. A human can actually stop faster than an ABS. Once you get in your ABS, it's going to go clunk, clunk, clunk. You're going to feel ABS. You're going to blow the 75 line. If you get into your ABS, you just need to back off a little bit, get out of your ABS. If you hit it a couple times, you'll feel it. Just get out of it, apply the proper pressure. Again, those ABS and all those systems are for when you fuck everything else up. It's at least going to try to save you, but a human can still do it way, way better and way, way faster. So once you start that 70-30 threshold braking, you're shifting down into first gear. You're preparing yourself for a brake and evade. You're looking in your mirrors because when you're stopping that quick, your new threat is the guy that's going to rear end you now because you just had to stop quick for the dog or the car. And now they weren't prepared because they're on their phone texting. You're looking in your mirrors. Bam, you get stopped within that 75 feet. Left foot down only, other foot's on the brake. You're still looking in your mirrors. Immediately once you stop, pick your leg up, do a U-turn. That's a brake and evade because the guy is going to rear end you and you need to get out of that spot. That's why you're shifting down into first so that you're prepared because you don't want to try to start in second or fourth gear, whatever gear you're in, you're going to be fucked. So you always shift down when emergency braking. It's a lot and you're going to find out how shitty it is. But once you do it, I can do it. I don't mark out exactly, but I do it well before the 75-foot line. It's totally doable. That first time you go 40 and you're not covering anything, you're like, you'll blow it. So make sure your back wall, you have room to escape because you're going to blow it, but you will be surprised. The more you do it, it becomes very comfortable. It's not scary anymore. That right there. The more quick you can dump speed, the quicker you can dump speed to either avoid a car or animal or other object, and or even if you can't completely get stopped, you've dumped your speed to 5 mile an hour. It's much better doing a Superman over a car at 5 miles an hour rather than 20. Mm-hmm. So speed kills, and getting rid of your speed as quickly as possible is the way to go. Your brakes are made for it, people. I hear people, not going to screw up your brakes. I've done it hundreds of times. It does not screw your brakes. That's what the frickin' brakes are made for. And if we have a video on changing your brake, it won't even wear them out. You can do that hundreds and hundreds of times and your brakes will be fine. If you do it like 5 times, just go drive your bike around for 5 minutes and just get some air flowing over the brakes because they can get jelly a little bit. We do that all the time.
The fluid gets hot.
But usually, the fluid gets hot, and the pads get super hot and they can squeak.
Yeah.
They'll go, but that's, your brakes aren't screwed if it does. Mine do it all the time. And then I just go out, I ride around for 3 minutes, get some air out, and I'm right back into training. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do it like 10, 15, 20 times, just, every 5 times, go run around for 3 minutes and cool your brakes down. That drill, you have no excuse. not to practice. Like, isn't that easy? Mm-hmm. And I am going to release that video, and I'll show you how I was set up, but hopefully I explained it here well enough. So if you do nothing else, if you don't want to do the turn, or you're not going to drop, you're not dropping your bike on this one, you're not doing cones, you're doing what you should be doing, and that's emergency braking. And if you don't think that's a diminishing skill, it's horribly diminishing. Every time I go out and do it a few times, it takes me a few times to do it to get back to, I usually never go over the 75, but I've done it for years, but I'll be close to the 75 and then I can dial it back to 3/4 of that distance or whatever. And just set up when you're pulling in your driveway, or if I live in the country, just know a start point and a stop point where you're 75 feet visually, and then just do it before you turn in your driveway. I mean, you just can't do that enough. And even when I take my experienced police motor officers out there to routinely train, I'll put them back on it. It's horrible. For whatever reason, that one, because it takes your brain, you don't realize how hard you can pull your front and back to get stopped that quick. At first, you're trying to feather it too much, and you're not, because you're afraid.
Yeah.
And your brain isn't used to it. But after you do it a few times, you're like, holy shit, you can fucking grab them things.
It's a different feeling on a bike, right? The bike's trying to stop and you're trying to go forward. And the same thing applies in a car, but in a car, you got a steering wheel and your feet are on the floor. It's just a different feel. You got a seatbelt holding you.
You've got protection.
Yeah. So that first time you do it,
if you hit a car in a car, you might survive.
Right.
If you hit a car in a car,
I'm just talking about the feeling of emergency braking is more dynamic on a bike.
Yeah.
Because you're not
shifting down.
You're not you're shifting down. You're working the controls, but
two brakes.
But you're also just sitting in a seat and you got handlebars versus in a car where you're in a big seat with a back and seat belt that locks up and keeps you held in place. So I see why it's a diminishing skill, because if you don't do it, you're going to go in and hit them too soft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the last point I'll make is, Lurch brought it up there, is, you have a seatbelt holding you. Make sure right before you hit the start brake line, you're not covering anything. What I teach guys to do, because you're kind of leaned over, is lock your arms out. So when and you'll see me do it even when I'm stopping quick for a red light that I didn't judge right, is I immediately lock my arms out, because you're going to go over you're now braking. If your arms are bent, it's going to push you forward up over the tank. It's a bad position. So we teach guys, lock your arms out and then start your threshold braking. It's going to keep you upright. While you're doing this also, I didn't say you want to look straight ahead. Don't look down at the ground to your right or left, straight ahead. Then I'm glancing in my mirrors. I'm doing head checks, whether there's a car behind me, and then I'm looking back up, getting stopped. Boom. Head check, mirror, left mirror, hazard coming, emergency, evade. And that's why we only put one foot down and on the brake, because easier to get going picking one up. And that way your foot's on your brake too. And it's just easier to get out, especially if you're doing a bar lock turn, brake, and evade. All right. We love our patron members. We want you to be a patron member. We want to get to know you better in the private Facebook group. We want to give you the benefits you deserve for supporting us. But for whatever reason, you don't want to become a member and you just want to leave a flat donation, we never balk at a flat donation. Lurch wants to thank the following people for leaving flat donations.
Of East Meadow, New York. Bradley Rupert of Salt Lake City, Utah, with a substantial donation. Thank you. And William Jones.
Lawabidingbiker.com/donate. That's right. Helps put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank.
Keep this thing running on down the road.
Again, lawabidingbiker.com/donate. It's also on the homepage of our website. Over to the right-hand side, there's a big donate button, and we certainly appreciate your support that way. Well, this went longer than usual.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
We haven't talked for
I know.
like a month.
We got two more to do, though.
Yeah.
And I haven't packed a thing for the trip.
Me neither. I'll do it tomorrow.
God, dude. I have to do it tomorrow now. And I just got my irrigation going yesterday. Oh, yeah. And I just want to publicly thank Lurch. Oh, and I got to mow my lawn tomorrow and all that. I weed sprayed it yesterday. Yep. And I do want to thank my, I don't even know what to call it, my hero.
Oh.
You're my hero.
Well, thank you.
I called Lurch in a pinch. Lurch works full time for Law Abiding Biker Media. He's been busy too. While I've been out, he's pretty much been running everything because I've been absent other than putting out short training videos. But so I call Lurch, or I texted him, and I'm like, earlier this week, and I'm like, dude, I know you've got a lot of shit going on. I know how busy you are. I just realized because of my crazy schedule that my bike is due for a service and we're leaving on a 4,000-mile trip. Is there any way that you can service my Street Glide Special? And Lurch, of course, stepped up to the plate, and you came over
Friday.
Friday morning. I saw the alert that the lab studio door had been infiltrated, and I figured it was a Lurch.
It was.
Got the alarm or the camera alerts and stuff, but thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Did you run it? Did you go out and ride it, or did you just run it on the lift?
I just ran it on the lift,
figured.
yeah.
I was like, he's probably out doing wheelies on my street glide, dude.
Yeah, I ran it and checked everything, but I would check it.
How was the air filter?
I would probably replace it after the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, I cleaned it.
Because I remember, I think did you?
Yeah.
Did you just wash it?
Yeah.
And so how long did it take you? You probably weren't trying to cook. You probably were just, did you turn on the news and stuff?
I tried to, but something was going on with the TV where I could hear the sound, but it wasn't playing the picture
That's
out
that
there.
cost. I've showed you how to do it. You got to go into the audio settings. Remember,
It wasn't
keeps
audio.
doing that?
It was something else. I'll show you. It was like,
All right.
I'll show you. But I couldn't get it to work, so I just put in my earbuds and
There
listen
you
to
go.
podcasts.
So doing it casually, how long? Hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
About an hour. A little over an hour, maybe.
So there you go, guys.
A little pro tip: start with your air cleaner. Wash that thing first and get it out in the sun and let it dry.
Oh, there you go.
It's ready to go when you get everything put back together.
Good point.
But I checked your belt deflection. I aired your tires.
Oh, you did the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Lurch just saved me, just by doing that, or by us doing it, saved me about over $400. That's what a lot of dealerships are charging.
It's insane.
We keep the oil, the AMSOIL, and of course they can purchase AMSOIL directly from us. Do we have that going?
Yep, we got a link in the store.
Just go to AMSOIL in our store. We can get, that's all we run in all 3 holes. That's all we do in our police bikes. Very simple. And we've had them out for years. And there's no reason, guys. I'm telling you, you can do your own oil changes. We've had those videos out. They are some of our premium videos over at lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos, all one word, /buy videos. We've got a pre-Milwaukee 8, which is the twin cams, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like my 14 Street Glide Special. And then we've got Milwaukee 8. So we've got pre-Milwaukee 8. We've got it doesn't matter if it's a soft tail. It doesn't matter if it's a Dyna. It doesn't matter if it's, Street Glide. Our videos are going to cover you. We show you everything what Lurch just did. To include full service. It's everything the dealership does for you. It's the oil change, the filters, the brake inspection, and we've got free videos on how to change your brakes if you need to. But belt deflection, it's everything that the dealership's going to do for you guys. And you can save yourself $400, hour and a half of your time, longer if you want to drink a few beers. We sell the heck out of those videos. And again, it doesn't matter which one you have. We've got you covered. Nothing but just praise on those videos that we've sold for years. Mm-hmm. lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos, and have the pure satisfaction of knowing it was done right, done by you, with your own love and care for your bike, and smile into the bank because you just saved for it. Think of the life of your bike, how many oil changes. You're saving yourself a ton of money. Thanks for listening, guys. We're out.